Hey there, everyone. I'm Renee. I am the owner and artist behind Chicly Reclaimed Decor, and welcome back to my channel. Today, I'm going to be taking you through the process of how to give your plastic planters a stone or ceramic-inspired makeover using just a little texture and some paint. I will also be sharing how you can then personalize them using stamps and even how to age your design for an old world style look. And as an added bonus, I'm going to be sharing an alternative way to create a similar look using Saltwash texture. So if that sounds like something you'd be interested in learning, stick around because that is what I will be going over today. But before we begin, please don't forget to like, subscribe, and then hit that notification bell so you can be notified when I upload new tutorials. Remember to clean your items thoroughly before you begin, and I'm going to be adding 2 coats of a paint primer to prepare this plastic surface to be painted. For this project in particular, I'm going to be laying down a base layer of texture using a chip brush and a product called Embossing medium. Now this is a smooth acrylic plaster by Couture paint, and I absolutely love this for creating texture. Now here I'm going to be adding only a small amount of this product in a dabbing motion over the entire design. And I love doing it this way because you can create a lot of texture here, but without having to use a lot of your product. And also, if you're wanting to add stamps later on, having this minimal amount of texture is going to make it that much easier for you to get a clean stamp design. Now, once my embossing medium texture had time to dry, I came back through and I added 1 coat of a creamy off-white chalk style paint. Now, you can use whatever paint that you like. You could even get away with using a latex style paint for this project. So feel free to use whatever you have on hand. For the next step, I'm going to be dry brushing a black color over top. Again, using a chip brush, I'm going to dip my paintbrush and then I'm going to offload the majority of that paint before gently brushing over top. Now this is going to catch on all of that embossing medium texture that we added, accenting it and creating a stone-like or ceramic style look with all of those black specks that run throughout the design. Now, before we move on to stamping and then aging, let's go over how to achieve a similar look using Saltwash texture powder and paint. Keeping in mind that I don't need nor want a lot of heavy texture here, I'm only going to be using a small amount of paint. And I personally like to use a yogurt cup or something similar that's disposable to mix things up in. And after adding my paint, I'm going to mix in a little bit of this Saltwash powder at a time. You are going for a brownie batter consistency here. Now, once you get that consistency that you want, I'm going to use a cheap chip brush and a dabbing motion as before to apply this product over the entire pot. Once my texture had time to dry, I came back and I brushed on a single layer of an off-white style chalk paint. And then once again, after that had time to dry, I took a 220 grit sandpaper and I started to sand back the white to reveal the black underneath. And this is what it looked like when I was all done sanding. Okay, so next up, I'm going to be sharing how you can personalize your faux stone design by using stamps. Now I'm going to be using this one. This is by Orchid Designs, but please feel free to use whatever stamps that you have on hand. And I'm going to be using that same black chalk style paint as earlier. If you have a paint roller, that works great, but I do not. So I'm going to be using this painter sponge. So after dipping it into the paint, I'm going to dab off or offload any paint before dabbing over top of the stamp. And as you can see, this stamp is made from this really awesome flexible rubber. So it made it really easy to wrap around this round surface. And then I just pressed it firmly into place before lifting it off. Now, I wasn't going for a perfect print, but if you are, you can very easily lay your stamp back over top with some fresh paint and finish the job. And here are the results once I was all done with that step. Next up, I'm going to age this planter design, and I'm going to be using a brown paint wash to do so. Now, this is just going to add a bit of grunge to the overall look, giving us a lovely vintage-inspired design. Now, I mixed a ratio of 3:1 water to paint, and then brushed it over the pot. And I'm going to use a paper towel to dab off any excess. And any drips that occur during this process, I'm going to leave. So feel free to take off or leave on as much of this product as you would like. And here is an up-close look at the pot design once we were all done with the aging process. And remember, if you used a chalk style paint, remember to seal your design with a water-based top coat for a lasting paint finish. And here are some up-close photos of the stone/ceramic inspired finish that we created here today using just a little bit of texture and some paint, as well as how we personalize these designs using stamps, and then how we aged this piece using a simple paint wash to add some grunge and give us an old world vintage inspired look. Again, my name is Renee. I am the owner and artist behind Chicly Reclaimed Decor, and if you liked today's tutorial and you're interested in more DIY content, then please don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel. And today, I hope I've educated and inspired you to pick up a paintbrush and to do a little creating of your very own.